Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to go over some tips and some strategies and the reasoning behind them on how to close, which is going to be a very important part of your $1 million sales process. If you haven't seen my other videos before, this is a video in a playlist I'm making on how to build a $1 million sales process. And I've already covered discovery, demo, and a lot of other things you should be doing prior to this. But yeah, in this video, I'm going to go over how to close. And the goal of this really is to improve your close rate and also reduce your sales cycle. Video is really aimed at you if you are a SaaS co-founder, still trying to figure things out, still trying to build out that sales process. So as far as I know, I don't think there's any sort of magical phrase that you can say at the end of the demo and the person will just want to buy from you. I'm not really sure it works like that. Actually, when I first started, I was like really Googling like, oh, closing techniques. And if I say this, get someone to say yes 5 times in a row, they'll say yes at the end. I don't actually think that really works. You do want to treat this person like a logical actor. This person is trying to figure out if the value that providing for him outweighs the cost that they're paying you, right? So you really want to understand it from their perspective. And if you're a buyer, I don't think anyone's going to say anything to you that's going to make you magically want to buy at the end, right? You have to really understand that value in order for you to want to buy something. So that being said, that's why I said earlier, the sale is already made in is always made in discovery, right? The sale is always made in discovery because that's where you understand what their pain points are, and that's where you can really show them where the value is because you understand their pain points. Okay, so now that we understand that, I do want to really just preface saying, if I were to give you a really blanket statement, not all the time, but blanket statement is you don't typically want to show pricing until that person understands the value that you provide, right? And this doesn't mean that you don't show pricing until the end or whatever, but just as a rule of thumb, you don't want to show pricing until they understand your value, because if you don't understand the value, then what's the point of pricing, right? If they don't see the value in your product, you can't help them. Why even go into pricing? This is pointless, right? Maybe they're not really sure about whether or not you can provide value and they want to know pricing, you give them pricing. That's not very beneficial to you either, because they'll just be like, oh, it's too expensive, because they don't know the value yet, right? So as a rule of thumb, I would just say try not to show pricing until they understand the value. And it's going to be hard because sometimes they'll just ask you for pricing, right? They'll ask you multiple times in a row. And one of the things that I like to do is I like to say, hey, it really depends on what you're looking for. If I ask you a few questions about what you're looking for, then I can give you pricing, right? And then you do a discovery, and then you can give them a range, right? Or sometimes you can ask them, oh, what the price for what? And they don't really know what they're looking for, right? So you can ask them more questions. So another thing I like to say is just push it up. Be like, hey, typically our customers find 3 or 10 times value, return on investment. It's very hard for me to give you pricing because I don't know exactly what you're looking to do yet. Can I ask you a few questions? And then maybe I can give you the pricing after the demo, right? After show you what's important. So those are some things you can do to really delay that pricing. And it's going to be very important because if you show pricing up front and they don't really understand, what you have to offer yet, they're just, oh, it's too expensive, then that can really shoot yourself in the foot. So taking that into account, now that you've shown them the demo and you're about to get into pricing, the one thing that you need to get them to admit before getting into pricing is that this product can help them, right? And like I said in the demo video before, you always want to ask if they can see how this product can do whatever it was that they wanted to do during discovery. So you've asked that question multiple times during the demo, and at the very end of the demo, before you show pricing, you want to ask, what did you like about it? How can you see this helping your business, right? Ask these questions, have them explain to you why this product will help them achieve goal X that you talked about earlier, right? If they don't agree to this, then you don't show pricing. You need to go back into really understanding why or why not this product will help them. So one very important aspect of the value you're creating is you have to help this person understand what the cost of not doing business with you is, right? So the opportunity cost. So the incremental cost that they gain from working with you is going to be something that they gain, but you have to also have them see what are they losing by not working with you, right? And that's typically larger, right? That's a larger thing, and it's harder to articulate. So you have to really help them understand that, and that would help you with the value argument as well. But let's say, for example, best case scenario, you've gone through that conversation, they can tell you exactly why it will help them, they're in agreement, they've verbalized it to you, and you're ready to show pricing, right? The technique that I would use to show pricing is I would first display everything that we've talked about in this demo and in the discovery and how we're going to help them, and list out either the features and the benefits of where it's going to help them, right? So you kind of hit them on the list. Hey, we're going to help you here, 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 it's going to do this, it's going to do that, right? So they feel everything is covered. And then once you're getting the price, you just say, and the price is for X, $199, and then just shut up. Just sit in that silence First person to talk loses almost, right? So just don't say anything. It's going to get awkward. It's going to take 15, 30 seconds, a minute of just silence. And they're thinking, okay. They're processing, right? They're going to think, okay. Yeah, makes sense. All right. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. And you just don't say anything. And wait for them to say something, right? Okay, so at this point, there's probably two outcomes that are possible. One is they just literally say nothing. You just say, okay, and that's it. Thanks for showing me pricing, and that's it. Or they may have an objection or a question for you. So in the first scenario, if they're just like, kind of like, all right, cool. Then what you want to ask is you want to ask them if they're ready to move forward, right? Pretty obvious. A lot of times salespeople kind of feel awkward about that, but you got to get in the practice of just asking for the sale. And if they're interested, then they'll say yes, right? There's some percentage of people that will do that. If they're not interested, then they'll probably have some sort of question or some sort of objection for you, right? So when it comes to the questions and objections, it's very, very important for you to understand exactly what they're thinking, right? Why are they asking you these questions? Why are they thinking about these objections? And you want to talk it through with them. So it's like, hey, it's kind of expensive. Okay, why is it expensive? What about it is expensive? Where exactly do you feel like it's expensive? Do they not see the value in it, right? And talk it through with them. Hey, I talked to my wife about this, okay? Just out of curiosity, why do you have to talk to your wife about it? What are you going to talk about? What's important to her? Is what's important to you the same as what's important to her? Or does she evaluate this from a different lens? So you really want to understand these questions because now is the only time where you can get an honest answer, right? Because if you call a week later, they may forget, right? Or they may just lie to you. They just may say something to you to get you off the phone. So you have to really understand exactly what their concerns are so you can address them, right? They may not even tell you your concern. They say they're not interested. So you have to really understand that now. Because the amount of energy you just put into getting this person to this point in the sales process was a lot. And having to recreate that is going to take a lot of work, okay? So the goal for you as a salesperson is really to close the sale as early as possible. So you really always want to try to close that sale by today. And there's a couple of levers you can pull to do that, right? So assuming that you've kind of taken care of all the objections, they understand the value, they understand the price, they're kind of just on the fence about it, they're just a little bit scared, right? Then there's things you can do to make it a little bit more appealing for them, right? One thing that I like to do is I like to offer a discount or an additional bonus that wasn't included in the initial offering for them to make a decision by today. And how I found the best way to position that is from a place of actual selfishness, right? So it's like, hey, looks like you are a really good fit for this. I think we can help you a lot. One of the things that I actually hate about my job is the follow-up process and, calling you back to follow up. And what I've been doing recently is I've been cutting that down is I've been actually offering a discount for folks that sign up on the first day. And if you have this time today, I can give you X dollars off or I give you this extra bonus. And what that does for me is it shortens my sales cycle. And then we just pass those savings down onto our customers that are serious, right? So I'm positioning it from a place where it's beneficial to me. You obviously benefit as well. And the reason I do like that is because it's more believable and it's actually true, right? Because I'm giving you a discount. You just sign up today. You take the savings, right? And I save time as well. So that could work really well. And that's actually shortened my sales cycle a lot. Because they're like, hey, let me call you back next Wednesday and we can talk about it, right? It's like, okay, well, sounds like it's a pretty good fit. I can call you back on Wednesday, but if you sign up today, I'll just give you this discount, right? Another scenario is like, hey, you know what? I really can't tell you until Wednesday. And they go, okay, that's no problem. What I can do is I can take a refundable deposit. So you pay me X dollars today. If on Wednesday you let me know, hi, I'm ready to move forward, then you get the discount. If you're not, we'll actually refund you that entire deposit. But if you give me the deposit today, then I'll lock in that discount for you. So what you're doing is you're just trying to get money up front. It's risk-free. But honestly, if they pay you that deposit, they're obviously serious. It's a small step for them. And then on Wednesday, they'll let you know, like, very rarely will someone give you a deposit and not sign up. Because they're already sold in their mind, but they're just a little bit iffy about the situation. And then it's refundable deposit too, so there's no risk to them. So that works really well as well. And another important thing about the close is you really don't want to give them something for nothing. So if you're giving them a discount on something, you're getting something in return. And that's usually like, better terms or, signing up earlier. You don't want to just start offering things, something for nothing because that doesn't value what you're doing for them. Another thing that I'll say that is, imagine if you are in the early parts of your sales cycle, you're just getting some customers and you're trying to figure it out. Like you want to reduce as much friction as possible. So like if you can avoid having them sign a contract and just have them pay you, then I would just say do it. Because honestly, at your stage, Like, are you going to sue them? Are they going to sue you? Are you going to force that contract? Probably not, right? If they stop paying you, then you're not going to take them to court, right? So it's just like that contract really does nothing. So the more friction you can remove, the better it is. So I would say once someone says, hey, I'm ready to go, get payment right now. Like, don't, I'm going to invoice you, whatever. Say, I'll get a credit card over the phone, or wire on the phone with them, hey, pay this invoice. So once you secure that payment, that's when the sale's made. Yeah, so hope that helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Thanks. It's free to subscribe.